And as Jocelyn mentioned earlier, we were able to complete this survey last summer. And Cecilia has hit the ground running, advocating for the needs of her community based on the recommendations that came out of that report. So I'm very pleased that we're able to be joined by both of these ladies who are phenomenal community activists. And I will let them take it away and talk about their experience with this project.
Thank you, Kelly. My name is Cecilia Butler, and I've spent well over 30, almost probably near to 40 years being an advocate for Washington Park, not only the park, but the community. But I want to just give us the opportunity, because we have some backdrops of South Shore Cultural Center. If you think of George Washington at 51st and King Drive, now head south through Washington Park, then the Midway, all the way to South Shore. Well, our parks, which would include Jackson Park and soon to be the home of the Obama Center, we can compare to any park venue in the world. We have fountains, we have museums, we have some of the best footage to compare to Paris, London. We can compare our area to the world, and it works. The minute that the Obama Center is finished, we will be there, everybody. So when I say my commitment is to Washington Park, it's really to the South Side area. And I found out that in the Hyde Park Herald, we have Guion Foreman from Emerald South, who identified the vacant lots in Washington Park, Woodlawn, and South Shore, which means that we'll be working with Emerald South real soon to help us improve our community. But to get back to this great project, our housing data project summary report. I don't know if you can see it, but I am so proud of it because we have people like Kelly, Jocelyn, Carol, and Wendy, who I went through step by step. And for many a year, well over 20, my lead person in my community that helped me a lot was Maddie Butler. We're not related, from Woodlawn. And now I have a bigger sister, and that's the whole of South Shore. Now, Washington Park is the small area. Then comes Woodlawn, and then comes South Shore. So with the help of this summary and the University of Chicago and the Harris School, the sky's the limit for us. And I say all this to say that I'm extremely thankful. You in South Shore, you will be too. It's unfortunate that we have a virus that has taken over almost a whole year of my advocacy, but I'm not giving up. I'm just going to be a little stronger. So again, I can speak for Washington Park and for Woodlawn, because look at Woodlawn today. There's more new housing going on in Woodlawn like never before, or let's say in this century for doggone sure. And what I envision for Washington Park is the same thing, and I see you in South Shore have already started it. So again, I have some big sisters that can help us in Washington Park to achieve our dreams. And with that, I'll throw it back to Kelly and Jocelyn.
Thank you, Mrs. Cecilia. next up, we're going to talk about how to be involved in the data collection.
All right, and Isabel, will you go ahead and start this? Let's see if I can, we're going to have that mute problem again. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, there we go. Got the unmute there. Here we go.
Thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you, Ms. Cecilia, for sharing a little bit about your experiences in Washington Park. Of course, I'm sure you're all very excited now to sign up and volunteer with us. Volunteers are really essential to our parcel surveys, which we will be conducting over the next 6 months through summer 2021. They're very simple. You do need a smartphone and data capabilities, and we do have a mandatory Zoom training session before your first time surveying. But with all that, you can expect to only spend about 2.5 hours including that training. And you will be compensated with a $50 Visa gift card. After training, you just walk or drive through your section of the neighborhood and you collect data on the properties and parcels via the smartphone app with LandGrid. And it's actually very straightforward, and I hope that the explanation we gave earlier shows that it's really accessible. Like Martin said, if you can use Google Maps, you can certainly volunteer to participate in our survey days. And if you're interested, I'm actually going to kick it over to Val to show you how to sign up and find out about all of our upcoming survey days.
Okay. So first of all, if you're interested, you should go on our website at the www.nna.org under the housing section, which is called it's house/housing, not necessarily South Shore, and fill out the survey, the volunteer survey, so that we can get in contact with you. For the month of February, we do have the next 4 Saturdays as a volunteer day picked out. So when you go on, you just pick out. But as she said, we do need to have the training. So once the training is done, we can move forward, or we can use that volunteer day as a training. But you have to go through your training first. And if you need T-shirts or anything like that, we can do that. But what I would like to do is just talk about how the core of how we organize in South Shore for those who do not know. Today, I won't be giving a presentation, but I'll just give a high level overview. We are organizing South Shore in a way that can be sustainable for future projects like this and anything that comes up that we need to come together and resolve. We're doing what we call our area council organizing. An area council is a 15 to 40 block radius where we all come together, where the neighbors come together and they resolve those issues in their area. There are 9 on the east side of Stony Island and 3 on the west side of Stony Island. There are a total of 333 blocks in South Shore. So we know you can't all do that, but you can focus on your area. And I'll just give you an idea. And once you sign up, you'll get an email with what area you may live in based on your address. So for instance, from 67 to 71st, Stony Island to Euclid, it's called the Parkside area. 67 to 71st, Creek-Air to Jeffrey is the Jackson Park Highlands area. 67 to 71st, Jeffrey to South Shore Drive is the O'Keefe area. On the other side of the train, 71st to 75th, Jeffrey back to Yates, that's the Bryn Mawr East area. 71st to 75th back to Stony, that's called the Bryn Mawr West area. So do you kind of get an idea where we're going with that? And so with that being said, depending on your area, those are the areas we're going to ask you to take ownership of on your block or even your area. If there are people on here who have their area councils already activated, what I'm going to ask you all to do, if the presidents are not on this call, is to take it back to your area council leaders, talk about it so that your block liaisons can get involved. We have 100 gift cards, so we can give 100 people gift cards, 100 neighbors gift cards to participate in this activity for the next 6 months. Are there any questions at this point? Nope. Okay, well, we would like to thank you for coming out.
No, wait, there's one hand raised. Her name is Amina Kareem.
Okay.
I will unmute you, Amina. If I botched your name, I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Can you guys hear me really quickly?
Yes, you're nice.
Okay, so first, thank you so much for all of you, NNA, University of Chicago, and all those who put this together, and the lovely Cecilia, the advocate for over 40 years fighting for justice. Fantastic. Big air hug. So once all the data is crunched, are you then matching it up to the government, our government, particularly like the City of Chicago, CDOT, to see whether or not it is aligned with the data that they also have? Meaning, are we sharing it with them to see where the gaps are? Because if we have a different set of data and they have a different set of data, then how, at the end of all of this, do we make these bold changes and create, policies through our policymakers and create maybe laws to ensure that, say, for an example, South Shore, just like I believe it was a Hispanic community that disallows gentrification in their community based on the data, right? So if you could talk a little bit about that from a University of Chicago perspective.
This is Jocelyn, and I'll go ahead and try to address that. So while the parcel survey we do is, I would say, qualitative research work and sort of, prone to sort of some like opinion, right? It's no one's positive, right? If a building is completely vacant necessarily. And so when we have that parcel survey data, what we do is take a look at these other data sets. And those are data sets that come directly from the City of Chicago, Cook County, and sort of other housing policy related folks. And we're using that data, their data, to sort of find these key findings and then make recommendations. And so when we've met with folks afterward, like the city or the county, they understand that our data is coming from their data, the data that they're outputting. So in general, I think that this report aligns, quite well with sort of other initiatives that are happening, but pulls in some unique factors related to housing.
Great, thank you. Alonzo Abron, I'm going to unmute you.
Hello.
Hi, Alonzo.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Great, thank you so much for attending. What's your question?
Okay, I really got in maybe around 10:30ish, so I missed quite a few. I actually seen this on Instagram, and I recently actually applied to be a part of the South Shore Chamber. My question is, the information that you guys were just talking about, is there anywhere that I could find this information to find out more about what's going on? And I did write down the website, and that's actually while we was talking, I was skimming through it, and I could see the volunteering to donate. But also my second question is, do you have to be in the neighborhood? I see that you guys was breaking it down as far as people who live in neighborhoods, how they get in certain areas. I just wanted to know that.
So this is for South Shore residents who live in South Shore. If you're interested in volunteering and helping out, I think you should give us a call and we can talk about what that looks like. But this is a neighborhood and resident activity.
I would add to that, though. We've done probably hundreds of parcel surveys over the last 7 years, and the more volunteers and the more surveyors we can get, the better. So please encourage your family, your friends, everyone you know who will come out to do this type of work. It's going to take a large effort, for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Unmute myself. Good morning, Juliet Durbin. I'm going to ask you to. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thanks, Wendy. And thanks to everybody for this amazing presentation. It's really inspiring. I have 2 questions. The first is, will this presentation be available afterward, so I can have it, so participants can reference it? And the second question is, could you repeat the key dates for when the study, when the data collection is expected to take place, and when the study is expected to be completed?
Kelly, do you want to take that one? And I would say the surveying will start most likely this month, if not the very beginning of March. I know that was a little bit different than what Val said. So we don't have a first training date set yet, but it will happen this month. And then surveying will happen periodically, or, through June, I want to say. So the next, close to 6 months. And then beyond that, Kelly, sorry, I just started taking over. Go ahead. Kelly's our timeline person.
No worries. Yeah, so we are hoping that we will have data collection done within 6 months. I think a large part of that depends on how many volunteers we can get out, the weather, and some of those extraneous factors. But our goal is to have the data collection for the parcel survey done in by the end of summer, and then for about 6 months, we then take that data and then pair it with the public data sets that were referenced earlier to make sure we have a clear picture of what's going on in South Shore. And then that's when our community partners will start also thinking about recommendations. And so we have about 6 months of data collection and analysis, early stages of findings and recommendation development, and then for the final 6 months is when we actually start putting pen to paper and fleshing out some of that stuff. So that's a long-winded way of saying that we're hoping that this entire project with the report that Ms. Cecilia was referencing to and the updated website will be done by summer 2022. I will defer to Val, Tanya, and the rest of the team as to whether or not we share this this presentation with folks, but that is the general timeline for this project.
So we did not tape this recording, but if anybody does need additional information, you can definitely reach out to Val or LaShawn or anybody in the Office of Civic Engagement. Well, not anybody, myself or Kelly or Jocelyn or Carol for more information. We did not tape the session today. Janet Anderson, you had a question. Do you still have a question? I saw you. Ask you to unmute if you do.
No, I think you probably answered my question. I just wanted to know the days that they start doing this. And once we start, are we obligated for certain days, or we just do it when we can?
This is Jocelyn. I'll answer that real quick. So once you've actually done the survey training and gone surveying once, you actually get much, much better at surveying in the future. It goes by really fast, and the more times you do it, you just become really expert at it. And so, no, you do not have to survey more than once, but most people find that it's pretty easy and enjoy kind of coming back and doing it and doing sort of different neighborhoods, different parts. So we encourage folks to come back, repeat. And then I think the messaging with regards to the first survey day is that we'll send that information out to folks who are volunteering, but we're hoping for this month. Just don't have a specific date yet.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Kirby, you will be our last question because we are at time and we do want to be mindful. Kirby, I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Oh, thank you very much. I just have one question. I just want us to know what ways can our federal government help in this initiative? Like our district congressperson or congresswoman, how can they help with this initiative?
Help in terms of what? Like they know that we're doing this, but are you asking that once the community comes together and makes the recommendations for the data, how can they help implement them?
Yes, yes. What ways can they help with this with your initiative?
Wendy, do you think you could talk about a little bit the meetings we've had with the state reps and sort of the political discussions? I think generally folks have been pretty supportive.
We definitely met with all of the, South Shore has 3 aldermen, Alderman Mitchell of the 7th Ward, Michelle Harris of the 8th Ward, and Alderman Hairston of the 5th Ward. We met with the 3 of them and briefed them. They're all very excited and supportive of this project. We have also shared the information with the state representatives, and everybody seems very supportive. So with recommendations to implement them, I cannot speak for them. We would have to ask them, but it's great that you are thinking about how does the federal government assist with this. So I know that doesn't really answer your question, but I really cannot speak for them, unfortunately. So if there aren't any more questions, and I don't see any more hands, and I don't see any in the chat, on behalf of the entire team, we would like to thank all of you for attending this morning. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, and have a wonderful weekend. Try and stay warm. Good night, or good afternoon.